So let's talk about a biological route and a biological explanation for effects in the brain for PTSD and CPTSD. The limbic system is responsible for processing that which you consider to be dangerous or not. The amygdala is responsible for processing that which perceives danger and then how we respond to it. The hippocampus, these are all bits of your brain. The hippocampus is responsible for, we think, for memory and the processing of emotion, and possibly for the way in which emotion is associated to memory. So here is what they have found using brain scanning and various methods for testing it. For people who have CPTSD and PTSD, the amygdala is excessively active, meaning that there is an internal alarm system that's going, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, the environment is dangerous. The frontal lobes become less active, so we evolved, the brain stem is here, like the spine and the brain. Like if you're born with a medical condition and you have a spine and just a brain stem, you can live. You won't live a full life, but you can live for a while. I was reading about a case yesterday where they actually got to the age of 12 and there really wasn't much else but spine and brain stem. Well, they couldn't see, they could barely communicate, but they lived to the age of 12. That's right, you usually would. But my point is you can survive with very little. So the brain stem has grown straight out the spine. The lizard brain, if you like. Fight or flight, reflexes, the sudden run away from danger, that which basically stops you from dying. It's not about thriving, it's not about living a happy life, it's not even particularly about going out and hunting and finding a mate and procreation and food. It's just about, shit, something's about to kill me, stop it. Very basic survival mechanism. Then it moves forward into the mammalian brain. This is where you will see aggression coming from. This is where you will see things like paranoia and a sense of that which is mine and me, and more of a boundaried way of looking at the world. And then you have that then grows forward into the human brain, which is the frontal lobes. What's happening is when you have trauma is, I used to teach this to kids when they'd go into exams and they panic over the exam. They sit there, they look at the maths exam, they have so much tension about it. Blood is now not flowing to the frontal lobes. It's all receding back to the reptilian brain stem and into their body and into their guts to help them to go to the bathroom and run away and to run or to smash somebody's head in. But you know, I would joke with the kids and be like, but you can't get up and smash your maths teacher's head in with a rock. It's not the solution to a maths exam. It doesn't create an awesome life. So we have these very, very primal responses which fight with the human response, and that's what we've got with CPTSD and PTSD. And there's actually a brain function there. So this one particular paper said that the hippocampus actually kind of atrophies over time with disuse. And what causes that, what can potentially cause that atrophy, is an extended exposure to stress. So the hippocampus, the volume of the hippocampus, according to what this research indicates, and I'll leave a link below, says that the hippocampus shrinks physically. It's like a muscle that's not being used and it starts to shrink down. What if, I'm suggesting, what if the block is that the brain physically lacks, because of the extended exposure to stress, whether that was in warfare, in the violence and trauma of war, or through being stuck in an emotionally and psychologically abusive environment, shrank the hippocampal volume, and now your ability to process memories and process emotion is actually flaccid and like a bicep that's not worked, and it's just weak now. That would suck, because I'd be saying to you, you need to process your memories, and you're like, I can't, they're stuck there, I keep thinking of this, and then the amygdala is fired off, and then the blood's gone from the frontal lobes, and it's all in the fucking limbic system, and I'm looking for somebody to kill, or I'm trying to run away. Isn't that similar to what we talk about when people are stuck in flashbacks? Be they the PTSD standard flashbacks of the memory just firing. You know, humans are supposed to do, maybe we're set up to do that for maybe like 5 minutes in an entire lifetime. that level of threat. Like, I could die now any second, maybe for 3 to 5 minutes in one lifetime. These are guys who've had to do it every day for long tours of duty, and they're seeing other people just like them, other guys and girls, just like them, are being killed in that scenario. So that is going to massively activate the amygdala, massively overactivate the adrenal response and the limbic system, and it's apparent, this is the new thing, it's actually going to fuck up the hippocampal volume. It's going to shrink the hippocampal volume, so your ability, it's trauma. Like, I think it could be that things are just shutting down. Maybe the brain thinks, we're going to die. We're going to die now. There's no need to process emotion. There's no need to access memories. Memories for what? We'll be dead soon. And you stay in that state, and you're actually going to have the same emotional, biological effect as, say, a woman who's stuck in a situation of domestic violence, or a child who's stuck in a situation of domestic violence. Is tonight the night that daddy's going to come home and stamp on my head and kill me? Is tonight the night that mum is eventually going to come good on her threats and lock us in a shed and burn us alive, or drown us? These kinds of things, okay? So, very, very high levels of threat. We're not talking about moderate levels, like extreme levels of threat. Here's the good news. The hippocampus, it has been shown, can increase in volume. Let's jump to the next conclusion based on the assumption I just made. If you're stuck with CPTSD, or you're stuck with PTSD, and you can't process what happened and you can't move on because there's a lack of digestion of the traumatic event, it could be, let's imagine now the amygdala is a piece of an engine. It's a valve in the engine. It's the same way as like a valve within the digestive system. If one valve you have in your digestive system, a stupid number of valves, they're called sphincters, but I don't know, it's definitely more than 20. If one of them breaks or closes, you have a very serious problem, because it's a one-way system, you know, or at least it should be, and any stoppage there is going to cause a system lockdown, and it can kill people. In terms of it being a valve, let's imagine the seahorse. The hippocampus is a valve, and you have this memory that needs to be processed, but the valve has shrunk through stress and through trauma. It has to be extended. It has to be extreme levels of stress over a period of time, like being stuck in an abusive environment, an abusive childhood, an abusive family, or stuck in a combat zone for a very long period of time. It shrunk. So it can't, like, this is a big, heavy memory with a lot of emotion, but the amygdala has shrunk. What I'm suggesting, again, not science, but that you work it and you can actually grow its ability to safely and organically and healthily process emotions. And this big thing that's been sat there, rotting, not moving through the system, can now go through. And in that processing, you have a healing. You get to move on. Your brain gets to go, yes, that happened to me. Yes, it was traumatic. Yes, it was awful. But actually, over a period of time, it doesn't hold me back. It doesn't stop me from living today. Because this has been one of the questions that I've had in my head: is if a prime directive of the organism that we are is survival, why would we process trauma in such a way that can actually kill us? Because over a long enough period of time, this stuff kills you. PTSD and CPTSD. All the research indicates if it's not treated, it gets worse over time. Two things will happen: slow suicide or fast suicide. Fast suicide is, I go jump off a bridge. Slow suicide is, yeah, I'm alive, but I'm not living. You know, I'm still putting food in my mouth. I tie my shoelaces up. I go to work if I really have to. Why does that happen? Well, this could be an answer to that. There's actually something that is blocking the system, a kind of emotional constipation, if you will, because one of the valves in the engine has gotten damaged. It just can't process fuel anymore. It can't fuel the engine anymore. So you drift through, so you're alive, but just barely.
So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how this process works and really what you're dealing with. Okay, so I'm going to start out by saying that narcissists and abusive and controlling people who wish to seek power over you, who want to overpower you and grind you to a powder in many cases, these people try to get you to doubt yourself. They cannot stand you loving yourself. They can't stand you having boundaries. They can't stand you having power. They want you to doubt yourself. They will do everything in their power in order to cause you to doubt yourself. They will start out with little things until the end, until you're just like doubting yourself left and right. In the case of the narcissist, you become easier to control. The narcissist is not out for you. Even if you think that that person cares about you, they're very good at acting like they care, but not really caring. They have an agenda, and that agenda is to sadistically cause you pain and to use you and exploit you as narcissistic supply. In order to do this, they must methodically and systematically tear down your sense of identity and replace it with you being more concerned about what they think of you than what you think of yourself. Society tells us we have to be nice all the time, and we don't realize, and number three, we don't realize that not everyone has the empathy that we have. So we have this blindness that sees everybody as really nice like we are. However, that's not the case. There are people out there who wish to grind you to a powder, who wish to take from you, who wish to cause you pain. Once you get strong in these items, then you'll no longer need the lesson. That's why there's some people who may never have a problem with little digs coming at them, because they know how to shut them down immediately, and they can detach easily from people who do this. However, there are those of us who were raised in traumatic, abusive environments where we become susceptible to this problem. Little digs from other people can pierce our hearts and cause us pain and cause us to doubt ourselves and cause us to second guess ourselves and cause us to question whether we even know what end is up. The narcissist personality will really overblow little things just to try to get you to have a feeling, a pervasive feeling of being not good enough or icky or bleh in some way. That's what they pour on you. And that means that they are having trouble with you being a fantastic being. A normal person, a healthy person does not pick on people. If someone that you get around is starting to tear you down, then you know that that person has envy, and you know that that person may have an agenda. They may have an agenda to cause you to doubt yourself. Why would they want you to doubt yourself? Because when you doubt yourself, you become much easier for them to control. They're able to plant things in your mind that really take over your mind. What you need is your own opinion. And whenever someone talks about you or says something negative about you, you need to shut them down and say, if I wanted your opinion, I would squeeze your head. You have to be able to speak up for yourself, to stand up for yourself. Don't just sit there and take it like a punching bag. Nobody has the right to tell you negative things about yourself. A normal person does not go around telling others the negative things about themselves. That is someone who is trying to get you. Sometimes little digs come in the form of silence whenever they should have said something. And you need to be aware of these. You need to be aware of these so that you can distance yourself from people who are digging on you, set boundaries, or stand up for yourself. And you want to make sure you don't get involved in a relationship with someone who's digging on you all the time, because that shows that there is a problem with their character, that they have some issue. People shouldn't be digging on you, and you shouldn't be digging on anyone else either. So stay away from digs and notice them. Notice whenever someone is digging on you, and don't put up with it. Put a stop to it. Make sure you take care of you and protect yourself.